if you've got a client and you're trying to address some standing balance concerns, or perhaps you want to get a little bit more ankle stability or foot stability, I just want to show you the next few exercises. The first one is scooter without hands. So we're going to have the foot bar all the way to the top, just in case your client does need to hold on to something. I'm 5'5", I'm not that tall, so I've got my platform extender on the floor just to bump me up a little bit. We're going to have two hands to start onto the foot bar. We're going to make sure that the foot is against the shoulder rest in a nice and stable way. For this one, you can really play with how far forward or how far back you want that foot, depending on how much glute you want with this one. Further back, there's definitely going to be more of a balance challenge. So I usually start with the knees a little bit flush. Two hands on the foot bar, again, just to start. Introduce the exercise, let your client know that we're looking for hip extension here, while keeping the corners of the foot down on the floor. So 4 corners or 3 corners, depending on what you're going for. You might want to add a cue with a little bit of a arch lift. And then once they're comfortable with that, get them into upright. We're going to press. They won't get as far unless you change the spring setting. I'm at 1 heavy spring. And then if we want to make this more challenging, we can add a little bit of an arm swing. So reaching forward into a little bit of a lunge and then coming back up. Making sure we're getting some good knee control from that hip. Oh, I can't, sorry. It's like, what is it, rubbing your head and patting your stomach? Can't talk and do this at the same time. We're gonna reach away, come back up. And so that can be a really nice way to get some glutes on this leg that's doing the work, but also the glute med that's holding up the stance leg. There's a bit of a bonus exercise in there with that one. The other one you can do is standing and doing a carriage press. So we're going to bring this platform extender back. You can drop the foot bar down all the way, or you can keep it up depending if your client needs something to hold. You're going to have 1 foot on here, 1 foot on here, and we're going to press away with the other leg. So we're moving through knee extension instead. There's going to be a lot of temptation for some people to hyperextend that knee. So if you want to work on that, you can work on that. If you want to work on the foot, you can work on the foot, or you can work on this hip. For some people, I work on hip centering so that they're not sort of pushing and shoving that femur forward in the socket, trying to keep the glute nice and free so that they can stay centered while this leg is doing the work. The last one I want to show you is a bit more tricky. So again, I do recommend that you proceed with caution with this one. It is going to be standing up. So as with anything, just make sure you're spotting your clients appropriately. We're going to have that foot bar all the way to the top. We're going to keep that heavy spring on, or less, it depends. But remember, on the reformer, the lighter the spring, the more unstable it is. So it really depends on what you're going for. If you want power, you're going to put that spring up, or the spring weight up. If you want stability, bring it back down. So 2 hands on the bar here. We're going to bring 1 foot onto that foot bar. And I should probably stop talking while I come up. But we're going to find a little bit of turnout on that back leg. We're going to make sure that this foot is comfortable where it's at on that foot bar. We're going to take our time. We're going to come up into standing. So really important to make sure your client's not gripping here. We're going to press that leg away into extension and then coming back through. So traditional Pilates, we want to have the arms in this little bit of a wide frame. You can also do this in a little bit of a forward lean to get a little bit more glutes, a little bit more proximal hamstrings, but definitely loads of core, lots of pelvic floor work here. So it's not necessarily standing balance in the sense that we're working foot stability, but we're working more so through the trunk and the pelvic floor.